What's happening? Once again, it's the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. What's going on, everybody? What's up, Buick City Films? What's good? Ray Hogan, is that right? Devo played last night? I don't think I've ever seen Devo. Devo is something I have never seen. But who's to say? That said, let's bring on our friend Lori Dawn. What's up?
Hello.
What's going on?
How's everyone doing?
Let's see. Is there anyone out there we could pick on? Let's see.
Yeah, Michael.
Larry Kelly in New Hampshire. Okay.
Yeah. We got some Boston people.
Yeah.
Chico,
all right, Chico.
Michael.
Good. All right. Listen. Nothing. You're at work. Watch the show. Everybody out there at work, just watch the show.
Yeah.
You're getting paid to watch the show. All right. Pick on me. Me.
Larry.
Pick me. Pick on me. You know. That said.
Hey, Ray. I missed everybody on Sunday. I heard it was a great show.
Let me fucking hold on. Sally Mae's texting me because you know.
So we have.
Sorry. Yeah, they wait till the show starts to go. So and so's. Get it from him.
How was that Sunday show? Tell me about it. You had Silence. That's One Enemy on Sunday. I missed a good one.
Sunday show was great. I didn't. You know what? I should put up a picture or two. Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me put up a picture. This band was. You know what? This band was great. Life of Deceit. They were great.
That's formerly
Gunk.
That's Gunk, right?
Yeah, the kid that sings is 15 years old.
Oh wow!
And they crushed it. They were great.
That's a great photo, Stephen. If you're out there.
Yeah, that's a great.
It's a good one.
They were great. Let me see what else I got.
Yeah.
Let me see.
It was a full house. Full house on Sunday.
Oh, here's a nice one. I don't know why I didn't get any of these together. Me and Mitz, formerly of Madball. Mitz came down. You know what it is? I think all these I call it soccer, but football fans, I guess they watch the matches over in Europe, because it's on early in the morning. Yep. And they come over to the show, Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. The football matches happen, early. So
let me see if I have one more.
And the weather held out pretty good. It was supposed to be rain.
Yeah, the weather was great.
Held out okay, yeah.
Yeah, the weather was great.
So
how about Sworn Enemy? Well, it was Pooch's birthday.
Yeah.
And here's our great new backdrop. We got this new backdrop that we have. That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool.
So, there's that.
Very cool. You got the. Hey, I see you out there, Josh. How you doing? Hardcore Legends trading cards.
All right. That said, hey, so let me explain. What's that?
We have good news and bad news.
Yeah. But you know what? Hold on. Let me send this link.
Yeah.
To anybody who fucking starts sending me messages when they're going to be on the show, when the show starts, pisses me off.
Yeah.
That just pisses me the fuck off. Hold on. Here's Sally Mae. Here you go.
We love you, Sally.
I sent it to you on Facebook.
Hey, Joe. How you doing? Joe prize fighter out there.
All right. Hopefully she can sort that
hey,
out.
Sally. She's out there too.
Sally, I sent it to you on Facebook.
Yeah.
There's the link. Jesus. Help me help you. Hey, is the show about to start? Yeah. Wait till it starts and then let's ask him questions.
Listen, when Sally Mae texts, you got to stop and take that text.
Well, I kind of just did.
Yeah.
So
wouldn't.
Sorry. So what happened was, everybody, this Sunday we had Freddie Madball lined up, but a couple things came into play, including the fact that they don't have the product ready that he's coming on the show, and we decided to move that, reschedule Freddie. Instead, what we're going to do on Sunday, Lori's going to co-host it, and we're going to do a Mother's Day show.
So instead of Freddie from Madball, you got me.
Right. Listen. You want Freddie from Madball? Sorry, we're doing a Mother's Day show.
Sorry.
Who's
it's
coming?
The Mother's Day show.
But Freddie's going to be on soon after. He'll be
right.
on a little bit farther down the line.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah.
We will get Freddie.
Freddie will come on.
Sundays about the moms.
Who we bringing on?
So we're going to have Mimi from Fug It. We're going to bring Dina, one of our favorites, Dina, back on, talking about more photography and what she's been up to.
Yep.
Who else did we say?
Cindy,
yes.
DJ Cindy, formerly of the Lunatics.
Right.
I reached out to Brooke Smith to see if she wants to come on. So it'll just be a fun show.
Right. So we're gonna march some women through, and we're just gonna be celebrating human moms of human babies and fur babies and house plants. We don't care what.
March some women through.
Yeah, whatever your baby is, we're celebrating you.
There you go.
You're dating a man baby.
All you mothers.
Right, all you mothers.
All right. So that's what's Francis Sawyer. Yep. So that's what we're going to do. It'll be fun. It'll be a little bit like today. We're going to march a lot of people through, and some new people, some new faces. And I don't get shook about anything anymore. It's like, oh, you can't make it, Freddie Madball? No problem. Hey, let's do Mother's Day.
I'm just gonna exactly. We'll just wing it. It'll be fine.
Not a lot bothers me anymore. Like at this point, it's like, hey, so and so's on Facebook, talking shit about you. I'm like, really? Great. All right. Hey, let me get a cappuccino. It's like whatever.
It's okay. Yeah.
I actually like when people talk shit about me now. It's like, oh, all right.
Gives you something to do. Anyway, that's a great flyer by Steven.
Yeah, he came up with it.
Yeah.
I had him take the wire hanger. It said no more wire hangers on it. I'm like, lose that. It's a bit much.
Everybody knows. You look at that image and you hear that in your head anyway. So it doesn't have to be written on there.
Ray Hogan says, except young girls and open bottles of vodka. What he's referring to is at the Bowery. And Sally, Sally Mae was standing right next to me. It's like we have these underage kids coming to the show, and there's you know who causes the most trouble at the Sunday Bowery matinees? Take a guess. Who causes the most trouble? Say it.
The young girls.
Young girls? Yeah, you can call them young girls. Little girls. Little girls show up to the matinee now. Constantly problematic. So on Sunday, I'm
so proud of them.
This little clique of little girls are walking up, and one of them's got a bottle of vodka in her hand. She's probably 15, 16, 17 years old tops. She's got a bottle of vodka in her hand. And I'm like,
when I was 15, 16 years old, I was friends with those girls. So,
I was like, I said to her, are you fucking kidding me? So I berated her, and then I berated her friends. I was like, and you're just as responsible.
And listen, like when we went to shows, nobody berated us. Could you imagine what these kids have to put up with?
Crazy. All right. So yeah, that got me a little heated. It's like, yeah, old man Drew, get off my lawn. How dare you? Vodka? Open bottle, not even trying to hide it. Like, walking into the club. You know? Yeah, they took it well. They took it well. I don't get vicious. I just sort of, but that one got my feathers ruffled. It's like, I mean, come on. I mean, if you're underage, at least like put the bottle in a bag or something, you know? Walk up like it's the old West or something. You know what I mean? Like, hey! Like, what are you fucking kidding me?
I love it. Love the energy. I love the
Yeah. The kids will have their drink.
Yes, little rebels.
Yeah, it was bold as fuck. You know what they call me?
Yep.
They call me Mr. Stone.
Aw.
It was sort of touching, actually. They're like, you know, that was a great show, Mr. Stone. I was nice.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So all right.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you in a little bit later. Let's get it going here.
Good show.
All right. See you in a bit. That's right. This is the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, and we are sponsored by the Texas Silver Rush DTFM Vinyl Distro, Generation Records, 126 Hardcore Clothing, Woo Man of the Pit, and Mad Vintage. Mad Vintage buys, sells, and collects band shirts, primarily hardcore. The DIY operation was started and is operated by a hardcore kid who just loves collecting and eventually got into the realm of vintage band shirts. They are always looking to buy out collections to either keep, sell, or trade new shirts added daily at www.madvintage.com and post it on Instagram. Dig deep into that closet of crap and reach out to them. Help me help you, Mad Vintage. That said, let's clear the deck and let's bring on our first guest. Here we go. Yo. Our first guest is an American musician hailing from the Garden State of New Jersey. He's known as the driving force behind the band Crazy in the Brains. Please welcome, coming at us from Bayonne, New Jersey, Mr. Christoph Jesus. Hey, man.
What's up, man? How are you?
How are you, buddy?
I'm great. Happy to be here.
Yeah. What's happening in Bayonne?
Nothing, man. I'm happening.
Yeah, right. Chuck Wepner, who fought Muhammad Ali, sort of put Bayonne on the map, you know?
Yeah, man. He the inspiration behind the Rocky movie. That's him.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
That's right. That's he got a shot at the title. He was a journeyman fighter, and there was a moment there, you know, where he put Muhammad Ali on his ass. You know?
Yeah, dude.
Yep.
We got his autograph when we were kids.
Is that right?
Oh yeah, he was a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still around. He's doing his thing.
Yeah, I think he had like a liquor distribute. I think he was a liquor distributor, or whatever. So he was a local guy, you know.
Yeah. You would definitely see him, you know, like moving around town here and there when we were kids. But yeah, dude, there was a movie. There was a movie about him too, I believe, that ESPN did.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So since we're here, let's chop it up a little bit. I mean, how did you come up? I mean, did you grow up in a musical household? How did music come into your life?
My uncles are musicians. They're immigrants from Italy, right? So they came up, they moved to Canada, and they got into opera music, and they have like careers doing that. But aside from that, I mean, my parents are big music fans. My mom, you know, is obsessed with Bob Dylan. My dad loved Led Zeppelin. But I sort of rejected that music at first, you know, just because, you know, that's what you do when you're a kid. You reject your parents' music, you know.
You're not down with your parents' music, right?
No, I mean, now, like, I grew to love Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan's one of my favorite artists, but I found my way through punk, really.
Sure.
Like the 90s wave of punk, you know, I caught that wave. And that's really how I got my start. And that's what inspired me to make music and to go down that path.
What was the first music that, like, you heard that you felt like, this is mine?
Probably like Rancid, Green Day, you know, that 90s wave of punk. There was music before that I liked. I mean, I I liked a lot of rap music and still do. That was the first music that I got into. But when I heard punk, that seemed like something I could like actually do, you know? Like I didn't think when I was like 9, you know, I didn't really think being a rapper was a possibility.
Right.
You know, like, and now, you know, that wasn't true. And especially now, right? Like, because genres like are all mixed together and nothing matters anymore. Like, but when I heard punk, you know, especially like I said, the '90s bands like Green Day and Rancid and even Blink-182. You know, Blink-182, like, yo, that was like the pop band for like skaters. You know, so that was like a gateway for us to get into all this this whole punk culture. So yeah, when I heard that, I felt like, yo, I think I can actually have a chance at trying to do this because, you know, before that, music, it was like it was the church choir, you know, like that was the only lane really, and it was like, well, I don't want to do that. I was kicked out of the church choir, you know, so punk, you know, like everyone says, it's so true. Like punk really, you know, made it so, hey, I think maybe I have a chance at taking a shot at this, you know.
I read that Joe Strummer was a bit of an influence, like Jungle Partner on Sandinista. Really, could you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I have 2 Clash tattoos. Yeah, I mean, Joe Strummer, I mean, he's probably one of the most influential people to my songwriting, you know. I love the way he used the guitar as like a tool, you know, because again, like my dad's music, Led Zeppelin, which I do like, I mean, the way the instruments were played in that band, it just seems so impossible, you know. It was like, I was like, it seemed like you had to be born with this godly, otherworldly gift to play the guitar.
Sure.
Like these guys, right? But then you see Joe Strummer and he's hammering on this thing, you know? There's melody and there's like style and that again was an inspiration. It was like, yo, look at the way he's doing this. Like I could do this, you know? And just I've kind of always looked at the guitar in a similar way. Like, look, this is a tool for me to get out my perspective on how I'm taking in this thing we call life, you know? So like,
sure.
Joe Strummer to this day, I mean, especially his solo albums too, the Mescaleros, like, I love those albums, you know?
Yeah.
Every time I'm in the Lower East Side, like I have to go over to the mural and like pay respect, you know?
Yeah, Joe Strummer was a big one for me too. And the Clash was big. What did you coming up in Jersey? Were you involved in the Fun House out in Jersey?
Yeah, that was my club.
Yeah, so, where was the Fun House in Bayonne?
No, that was in Jersey City. So I moved to Jersey City. I went to high school in Jersey City, and then we moved over there. We had a little punk house on Center Street, and then I was just super inspired by, you know, like Discord and everything that Ian MacKaye did and Minor Threat and all that, right? And we were just, you know, we're doing our thing, and we decided like, yo, we got to start our own venue, because there was really nothing in my immediate community that was like for us, you know. Like I always, from day one, when I was 13, I was already taking the PATH train and going to New York City, because that's where the culture was, you know. Like Bayonne, there's nothing happening. Jersey City, like kind of, but there wasn't a lot of clubs. There was no all ages clubs, or even beyond that, there really wasn't a lot of clubs like letting punk bands play or just new bands play. So there was a biker gang that lived on the corner of where my apartment was. So they saw me like rolling through with my guitar case, and they were like, "Yo!" They called me out, and I was like, "Oh!" I got scared. I'm like, because these are like dudes, like,
yeah,
I mean,
big boys,
big like intimidating looking dudes who looked like they didn't like me, you know. they called me over and like, yo, what's up? You play music? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, oh, like we have a space here, you know, like we do parties. He's like, dude, the main guy, his name is Bruce, rest in peace. He passed away a few years ago. These guys were amazing. They were like my bodyguards for a few years, like the way they cared for us, right? He was like, yo, we have a club, we do parties. We do parties for our crew. You know, what kind of music do you play? Like, you want to play one of our parties? I was like, I mean, yeah, but I threw my idea at him. I was like, yo, I'm trying to like open my own punk club.
Right.
Basically what happened was they let me use their space to throw punk shows and do whatever we wanted to do. They took the money from the bar. I could say all this now because it's over. It's done.
It's in the past. It's far back in the past.
Yeah, the club doesn't exist anymore. The bikers all went somewhere else.
Right.
But we were super illegal. Like it was DIY. It was punk as hell. And they took the money from the bar, and I used the money for ticket sales to pay the bands, and we threw punk shows for 2 years.
And you guys did over 100 shows like that.
Oh yeah, probably our biggest event was bringing in Negative Approach.
Wow.
And that was crazy.
So in a situation like that, so they don't have a liquor license. You're just kind of doing these. Yeah. And so you book Negative Approach. They come in, they play. It's all on the DL.
Oh yeah. I mean, you know, we were learning as we went along. So like we definitely made a lot of mistakes. Like I had no clue about booking shows. I didn't even have my own, like I didn't have a booking agent at that time. Like everything was just very punk, you know?
Yeah.
So, but I mean, everyone was always happy. Everyone had a good time. The biker crew protected everybody, you know, like there was never any problems. If we ever, in the beginning, you know, sometimes we would be short on money to pay bands, but we would just pull it together, and like bands always got paid. It was amazing, you know. I mean, but it was one of those things that like we knew it had a lifespan. We knew to run it that way.
Sure.
We knew let's just go as hard as we can for as long as we can, and we know at some point it's going to burn down. Hopefully, someone else, you know, picks up the ashes and does something else, you know.
Yeah, that's why when, for the most part, when places close and something happens, my attitude is always like one door closes, another door opens. You know what I mean? It's like people are like, oh, that place closed. Meanwhile, there's two other little places opening that, you know, so, you know, I assume that it closed because eventually it kind of became obvious what you were doing, and the neighborhood started getting gentrified, and it's the same old story, right?
All that. And to be honest, we weren't even really trying to hide it, you know, like we were blowing these shows up. There was a point where we almost had we were going to book Andrew WK. Wow. But the thing is, because of how minimalistic the whole operation was, we couldn't really like provide him everything he needed, you know?
Right.
And I was trying to pitch it to him like, look, the shows were always overpacked, like over capacity, you know? Like,
how many people like could you fit in there?
I think max was like 175.
Not bad though. It's not bad.
That's like dude, like
yeah.
You're shoulder to shoulder, and like but we always packed it out like that because there was nothing else like that happening over there, you know?
Yeah,
Brooklyn was doing its thing with all the DIY spots. But right there in Jersey City, you know, we were the only thing like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was fun.
So how does Crazy in the Brains come together? Was there like a mission statement? Like, just walk us through sort of how it came to be. And you guys certainly the last couple of years are gaining momentum and doing some great stuff. Kind of walk us through the timeline.
Yeah, well, I was in a bunch of punk bands in high school. We played the Meat Locker in Montclair. You know the Meat Locker, yeah. That's like where Harder came from. And
yeah.
I was in like every style of punk band, like 77 style and like hardcore and everything, every subgenre you could think of. But like once we were out of high school, or really like college years, I didn't go to college. But my fellow bandmates did, you know, and once that started to kind of like progress, people just started going elsewhere with their lives, you know, and I knew I needed to play music, you know, like music and punk was more to me. It wasn't a hobby. It still is my life, you know. So I decided to start something on my own and write my own music, which I hadn't done before. And it was just a solo. It was just me solo. And I would go over to the Lower East Side and play open mics. I started at the Sidewalk, which, you know, is right near Tompkins.
Sure. And you just play solo acoustic?
Just solo acoustic.
Sidewalk was good like that.
It was good. It was, and you know, like it was punk affiliated, you know.
Yeah.
Me, it was like I used to hang out and drink in Tompkins and see all the shows there, and like venture to the East Side River Park and like hang with all the crusties over there. Like, so that was like my hood. And then I realized, oh, okay, there's this place right next door that's a little different vibe, but it's free. It's like it's very you know, Anti-Folk was this kind of like spin-off of punk almost. And they were doing the open mics there. So I went over to there and just started really just trying to figure out how to be a songwriter on my own, just live in front of people. So I would go there, play songs, and I slowly built it up from there, and just started bringing in people over the years. So like it's always been me. Lineups have changed and evolved over time consistently. But yeah,
but it's your vision.
It's me. Yeah, it's my project, if you want to call it that. Yeah.
Is this a current lineup?
This is my crew right now. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's Rob in the back, who also plays. He plays in Puzzle Panther. You know, Eugene and Kay and Victoria's band. Ernest is my guitar player. That's Gayla on guitar as well. Zach is the drummer. Anya plays the saxophone. But yeah, I've always loved the idea of evolving, you know, and not really, you know, the Ramones were like the best band at doing the same thing over and over again. One of my favorite things ever. They could make the same record over and over and over again and still keep you excited and devoted. I feel like more like maybe the Clash, you know, where the Clash kept switching it up till the end. So like
they sure did.
I mean, Sandinista is like, and no one says this, but that's actually my favorite album by the Clash.
Sandinista is the gift that keeps giving, man. I mean, I just every couple years I'll start up on Sandinista again, and every couple years I listen to it, and I just it's like I never listened. It's like I've never heard it. It's like I'm hearing it for the first time. It's like this. It's that record is unbelievable. I know. I mean, you kind of fell in with Eugene and his thing, and you guys got some momentum, right?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I met Eugene just by chance, you know. Like I was a fan of Gogol, you know, like because I'm obsessed with punk music, you know. Like every band that exists, I have to buy the album just for academic purposes, you know. I have to know about it, you know. So I knew about Gogol and I was a fan, but I actually, to be honest, I didn't know he was like based in New York. I guess I just like missed that, you know. But I was at a hardcore Q&A at Organic Grill. Rest in peace, Organic Grill. It doesn't exist anymore, but Vlad was awesome. His business was great. I was there, and Eugene just happened to be there. So we met there, and then we hung out and we talked. then I believe it was one of your shows the next day, a hardcore matinee at Bowery Electric.
Yeah.
That we were both at that again. And he was like, dude, I can't stop running into this kid, you know? Like, we just hit it off. Like, it wasn't even, no one was really, it wasn't some industry thing, you know? Like people ask me, like, oh, how'd you get in with Eugene? I'm like, bro, I don't know. I just, like, I'm around, you know? Like, I think we just had similar vibes and similar interests. And yeah, he took me out on tour. We didn't really know much about each other. It was just like, oh, I like your music. You're into my vibe and my music. He hit me up. He's like, yo, what are you doing in 3 weeks? Do you want to open for us? I'm like, hell yes. And that's how it all started.
Eugene's a special character.
He's really amazing.
Is. Eugene's is a special character. He really is. I mean, he you know, the world's a better place with Eugene, I must say. You know, wow. he really goes with his heart, that guy, you know.
I respect that unapologetic enthusiasm, you know, because I feel like I have that I bring a similar energy, you know. So like it was cool. It was cool to have, and still is very cool. I'm very thankful to have him embrace me and be a mentor, you know, and like the music, you know, speaks for itself. The bands are epic.
Absolutely. What's going? I know there's a couple things going on with you guys. I know we're going out. I know Punk Rock Bowling's happening. We'll get to that. But as far as I can see, this is kind of what's coming up pretty first.
Yeah, we're doing a headline show in Brooklyn at a little club. Yeah, and then we actually
the Heart Bar.
Yeah, this is a little club in Brooklyn.
I don't know this place.
Yeah, it's a cool little spot. And we got some cool bands. You know, Rebelmatic, obviously. Of course. They're gonna be rocking with us.
Yep.
We're releasing a zine this night because I do artwork as well.
Is that someone asked, is that your artwork behind you?
Yeah, that's mine.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, I do paintings and comics and all that stuff. So we're gonna be releasing a zine that night that showcases my art and we'll show some love to some local artists that we like, some bands that we're into.
I think this is a little bit before that, right? In Jersey City.
That's a few days before we're playing in Jersey City. And then what else? Yeah, we're going to do Punk Rock Bowling.
Yeah, I got that. Let me grab that. That's this. And you know, Punk Rock Bowling is exciting. You know, I'll see you out there. And you guys are playing this great show out there. This is a good one.
Yeah, this is gonna be fun. We actually toured with the Bronx a while back. They're an incredible band. I haven't got the chance to see the mariachi band yet, but I love that. Those guys are awesome.
And this is on the pool deck. The pool shows I hear are really a blast. You know?
Yeah, we did a pool show once before with Laura Jane Grace and Playboy Man Baby. It was really cool. I've never gotten in that water personally, but
right.
I know people do it. So you know, if that turns you on, go ahead. But and then you're doing. I mean, you're doing a tour. I'm stoked for that. You just nerd out and talk about punk music for
I mean, I haven't been in the place yet. I guess we need to do our homework before we do it, right?
Oh, are you gonna go?
I'm doing a tour also.
Oh, you're doing a tour too? Okay, cool. Yeah.
I'm looking. Oh, here it is. I'm doing a tour the day after you.
Oh, sick. I'll come out.
Yeah. So I'm in there. I'm in there the day after you, bro.
You're gonna love it. Fat Mike really did an excellent job. Like,
there you go.
Yeah.
You're up to 24th.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Have you done it before?
I've been there.
Okay.
And I've never hosted a tour, but I was on CJ Ramon did a tour.
Is that right?
So I took his tour. He was funny, man. He was amazing. He started off his tour. He's like, first of all, I don't care about anyone's opinions, what everyone thinks. The Ramones started punk rock in New York City. And everyone's just like, all right. And I'm like, yep.
Yeah, now that we got that out of the way, right?
We got that out of the way.
What's going on here?
Yeah, that tours and starts in June with these guys, the Rum Jacks. They're a really cool band. I don't know if you've heard of them or checked them out, but that's gonna be a good time. And then after after this or around the same time, we're gonna finish up our record. We've been working on a full length record right now, so we got to go back over to LA and finish that.
A full length?
Yeah, I've been putting out a lot of EPs and videos and stuff. Just because of my attention span, man, I just want to keep it moving. But this album has been really a powerful thing, and it's been really fun to work on something that tells a complete story. I love albums. I think albums, in my opinion, they still matter. Like
how many songs did you do?
Yo, we're looking at like over 20. So yeah, I mean, we'll probably shave it down. Although I remember, like, I love some punk albums will be like 25 songs, but they're all like a minute long.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm stoked to put out like a more long form piece of art because everything is so fast paced right now, which is cool, but there's something special about sitting back and like go on the full journey. Like
I hear you. Yeah, we're doing it the other way around. The last one we did was sort of the big statement. And now we're sort of this one. We're doing like a single, an EP. We're kind of doing it the other way around. But the Rum Jacks are getting some love here in the chat room. I guess they supported the Dropkick Murphys on their last UK Ireland tour. Joe Frank upstate, love the Jacks. So
they're kind of like, I mean, the Dropkick Murphys are still in the game. Obviously, they're
big time.
But I feel like the Rum Jacks are kind of the next ones to kind of take that torch.
I see. Yeah. Rick Brust asks, is there a lot of xylophone on the new record?
There's zero. Nah. Yeah, I don't like. We did that for a while. We had quite a few albums where that was the wave. But once I like evolved to the next phase, I don't really like to go backwards. So those albums and those songs, I cherish them and I love them and they exist. But
sure,
it's all about the future.
Hey, Johnny Baby says hello to Chris. I followed the band since the early days, way back in 2006-ish, and he is a true example of how dedicated you must be. I love how he keeps evolving. Keep going, Chris.
Thank you, brother. Yeah,
that's cool, man.
That's my high school days.
Is that right? Hey, have you seen your hardcore trading card?
No, I didn't know I had one.
There you go, bro.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's a good one.
Dude.
Yeah. And the back, let me show you the back. The back is really good. And you know what? Josh does a great job on these because he goes real deep. And when I'm doing my homework for a show, I look at the back of his card and it always helps. And this is how I found out about the Funhouse. It says, fun fact, Christoph ran a DIY venue called the Funhouse in Jersey City, New Jersey. The venue hosted over 100 all-ages punk shows, including the legendary Negative Approach before being shut down by the police. Side note, he also went on a date with Kelly Osbourne.
Whoa, who told him that?
It was on the card, man. I don't know. So
that's crazy. Yeah, these cards are. I know about these. Like all the goats are. Wow, that's crazy, man.
He'll reach out to you. Josh will reach out to you.
I'm honored to be a part of that.
Oh, here he is. There he is.
Yo.
Thanks.
Thank you, brother.
Just in the spirit, just to keep it moving. Thanks for coming on. Anybody you want to shout out? Anybody you want to thank? Anything you want to give some attention to?
Shout out to anyone who supports what I'm doing, or you know what? Shout out to everyone who supports all independent art and music. Because without y'all, this does not happen. So thank you to the supporters of the show. Thank you to supporters to me. Yeah, we'll be in Brooklyn May 17th. If you're around, come hang out in New York City. Thank you, Drew. This is I love this.
My pleasure. And we'll see you out in Vegas for this, and we'll hang out a bit. Looking forward to it. It's gonna be a great couple of days.
Yes, let's party.
Thanks, Chris. I'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Take care. All right. That was great. We got to bring him back and do a whole show with him. He's a very, very interesting and dedicated. And he has a great band and puts in a lot of hard work, man. And the band is getting some love and getting some momentum. And it's nice. It's nice to see, a band when they really put in the work. Speaking of which, let's bring on our next guest, which is right in that same kind of vibe, man. Do good things and good things will come to you. Because our next guest was in the trenches for many years. He put in a lot of hard work, and then he got the call to come up to the big leagues. So our next guest is an American bass player, promoter, and master plumber, hailing from the ocean state of Rhode Island. As a musician, he's known for his work with the bands Reason to Fight, American Psycho, Closer Than Kin, and of course, currently, Death Before Dishonor. Here today to talk about the new Death Before Dishonor release, Nowhere Bound, please welcome, coming at us from Warwick, Rhode Island, Greg Reason Chihoski. Hey, man.
Hey, Drew.
How are you, buddy?
I'm doing good.
Did I pronounce it right? Chihoski?
Chihoski. Yeah, it's good. It's close.
Polish?
Close enough. Yeah, Polish. My grandparents were from Poland. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. How's things in Rhode Island?
It's pretty good, man. Weather's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Things are good.
You're born and raised, and you still live there, right?
Yeah. My mom's from Liverpool, England.
Wow.
She moved out here to Boston to become a nurse. She met my dad. They settled in Rhode Island, and I like it here. I've been all over, and I still like it. It's a good place.
Yeah, it's nice. You have a nice place to come home to. How did you come up? Did you grow up in a musical household, and how did music come into your life?
My mom would sing, stuff like that. She was from Liverpool, so she was a big Beatles fan. So
right.
Beatles would be playing. She liked the Beach Boys. I got sent because of reasons. Me and my dad never really saw eye to eye, so I got sent back to England for like a summer when I was about 11.
Wow.
And my cousins out there turned me on to Sex Pistols, Iron Maiden.
Sure.
So I went right from Beach Boys, Beatles to punk, metal, hardcore. Definitely gravitated more towards the punk and hardcore. So other things came later. Like I got into Led Zeppelin and Sabbath and things like that after punk.
Mm. What was the first music that you felt was like spoke to you? That was like your music.
The first band I probably got obsessed with was Minor Threat. So
good one.
Yeah. And then it was next one that Sick of It All. When I heard Blood, Sweat, No Tears, that spoke to me at that time. And I've been a fan ever since. Still a Minor Threat fan, huge Minor Threat fan still. I did love Fugazi too. I was able to see Fugazi a lot. But yeah, even Fugazi, those first few albums, the bass in that made me want to be a bass player.
Right.
Between that, I love Matt Freeman, Operation Ivy. That's another band that really influenced me, and that bass playing. Another one, like New York Hardcore, Beyond, Burn. That's Vic DeCaro, I think it is.
Yeah.
Like he's in Shelter too, and
yeah, Vic. Yeah.
His bass playing, I love.
Yeah.
That got me.
When you were a young man in Rhode Island in sort of that era, did you have a lot of peers? Was there a scene in Rhode Island?
Yeah, we had a great scene actually, because I started up probably skateboarding. You know, I started skateboarding around 11 years old.
Well, that's skateboarding is the portal that a lot of us go through to get to hardcore and punk.
And actually, the Beastie Boys. I love the Beastie Boys, and then listening to them and just seeing what they were into. And I mean, they toured with Murphy's Law and Public Enemy. I became a Public Enemy and Murphy's Law fan, like right away. Started looking into other things. Found the Bad Brains. Found this, you know, and then that led to Minor Threat, where I was just like, wow, it spoke to me right away.
Sure.
Yeah. And we had this place, the Skate Hut. It was run by this guy, Fred Smith. It was a huge skate park indoor and like.
And where was it?
It was in Oneyville, Providence, a section of Oneyville.
Okay.
Was, like a rundown warehouse with just a 13-foot vert ramp in there. Fred Smith, he was a pro for Alva. He ran it. He used to tattoo out of it. He ran a club underneath called Under the Hut. So bands would come through there.
Is that Fred Smith the third?
Yes.
The loud ones?
Yes, the loud ones. Yep.
John in London, yeah. And he Fred Smith the third lived in famous Fred Smith. Okay, he was a known dude.
Yeah, he skated for Alva, which was a big company back then.
I see.
Between him and like Sid from Water Brothers is another guy. They kept that scene alive. Surfing, skating, tied all the music into it. I would get, I was a huge Minor Threat fan. So somebody would make me a mixtape with like Palehead, Embrace, almost everything, Egg Hunt, like every Ian McKay. It was cool. It was like, I guess it was my version of YouTube or Spotify back then.
Sure.
And, I was definitely into Dead Kennedys, Misfits. But the more personal, like Minor Threat lyrics spoke to me. Sick of It All, Pushed Us Too Far, Injustice System, those songs still, I still get the same feeling today listening to it. Yeah,
I do too. One place I remember where I saw a bunch of shows in the early 80s was this place, the Living Room in Providence.
Yeah.
And that's long gone, right?
Yeah. Well, it moved and then it closed. Yeah.
That was a pretty rough and tumble place. But was the Living Room still there when you started going to shows, or was it like Lupo's and everything else?
My first shows were at the Living Room.
Right.
So, and I kind of got, I got dragged to my first show, which was Exodus. Didn't really know who they were. Got thrown in the pit. 14 years old, that's how I jumped right into it like that. And then I'd see like Fugazi was playing. So I got to see Fugazi at the Living Room. The Ramones played the Living Room, a band from Rhode Island, Verbal Assault.
Sure.
So they'd play everywhere. And I would just find my way there and hang out until somebody would drive me home, like anybody. Yeah. Anywhere near where I'm going. So sometimes I'd show up at 5 a.m, have school at 7. But
sure.
It was all about
Is that right, Larry Kelly? You introduced me to the Bad Brains at the Living Room, Drew, back when you were still living in Boston. I like when other people like give me back some of my memories, It's like, thanks. Yeah, no, I was close with the Bad Brains back then. And I was going to say at the Living Room, I saw the Bad Brains. I remember seeing the Bad Brains at the Living Room and Black Flag, early Black Flag.
Yeah,
they played there, and that's right. I think back then, like the Ramones, the Living Room was sort of like the place back then. There was it was like that was sort of the circuit, like if you're going to play in Providence, Rhode Island, and you play the Living Room,
The owner, his name was Randy Heim. He was this guy. He loved the club. He loved music. I mean, this guy lost his house to keep the club. He did everything. So he moved it to another location, just a few blocks away, and he kept it going until like early 2000s.
Larry says, Yeah, they had that big plate of chicken that the owner's mom used to make for the bands.
Yes.
That's cool, man.
He's got plaques from the Police. I think he's got a plaque from U2 thanking him and his mom for the catering. And
that's awesome, man.
Yeah. He was the greatest guy. He passed away, but he was like an uncle to me. Like, he let me book shows when I was not even. I think I booked my first show there when I was 18, 19 years old. Yeah.
So the way that we sort of connected a couple of years ago was you were a booker, like you said, you were promoting shows.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it seems like you got into that fairly young. How did you get into all that? And did you enjoy booking shows? I mean, it kind of puts you on the map.
Honestly, I was told my band would never play anywhere and nobody would book us. I said, why don't I book my own shows? You know, like, and I did. And I was making friends. Like, I started traveling because of skateboarding. Actually, I was traveling around 16, 17. Like, I made it down to New York for the Brooklyn Banks. And like, you know, I'd been to the Limelight, at least for like a rave, stuff like that. Because of skateboarding, I was down there. But I made friends. So other bands would come through and I would be able to set shows up, whether it be a skate park or like Randy then realized I could kind of organize stuff. So he would let me, he's like, take this night, it'd be like a Tuesday or a Thursday night. But if I could get 50 people out, he was happy, you know?
Sure.
That's how it started.
And then after the living room, I guess, was it Club Babyhead? And eventually, what was that place? The Firehouse?
Firehouse 13. I love that place. That was much later on. But yeah, Babyhead is like where I really was there 4 or 5 nights a week. I mean, I'm trying to think, like early 90s, mid 90s. You would have like Deicide on a Monday, Bad Religion on a Tuesday, Leeway on the Thursday, it's just packed every night. Different shows. They'd even have like what they called Stupid Dance Party, which was like 80s dance party back then.
Yeah, I just found this in the archive. Let's take a look at this. Let's see. Rancid one night. Sam Black Church, Life of Agony another night.
I was at the
Typo Negative, Sabotage, Reverend Horton Heat. Yeah, this is
and that's 1 month.
Yeah, that's
Shudder
to Think. Napalm Death.
Yeah,
Napalm Death Obituary.
Napalm
Death Obituary of Machine Head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just you didn't care. That was the place you didn't really even have to look to see what was going on. There was always something.
Sure. That's cool. And all this, like you said, you're playing in bands and you're doing your thing, and eventually you're in. I'm just looking for hold on. Don't want that. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
I'm looking for your card. I know I got it somewhere.
Oh, well.
Here it is. Yeah. So right. So what came first? What was it? I know Reason to Fight eventually, but there was a couple bands before that, right?
I was my like high school to early 20s was Keg of Hate. It was called, right. And we would play. First, we just started playing parties and trashing people's houses, but then
Keg of Hate.
Yeah. Kind of started out as a straight edge thing too, but we kind of fell for our own joke and drinking and partying. We'd played New Hampshire. We'd travel and then we'd bring people down. But after that, I did join a band Closer Than Kin. That was.
Have you seen your card?
Yes. No, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. And according to the back of the card, which is a wealth of information.
I know. He does do his homework.
Thank God for Josh. He makes my job a little bit easier, and I appreciate that. Keg of Hate, Truth Hurts, Reason to Fight, Chapters, Fallout, Closer Than Kin, Slapshot Fill and Bass, Gutter Monk, Death Before Dishonor, Pennywise, guest bass, American
Philly.
Psycho, Bottled Violence.
Yes. A lot of
All
stuff.
right.
But yeah, so Keg of Hate, pretty that was a long-term band. Closer Than Kin, we actually did do some good touring, a lot of like US touring.
Right.
Some good stories. Made some friends back then. Like we played Closer Than Kin would play Castle Heights. We'd go
Ooh,
down.
wow.
So I met like Kill Your Idols, Gallows old band On the Rise. We used to play with this band 5 Minute Major a lot.
Sure.
Trying to think who else, but yeah, so that there we'd play out in Long Island. Definitely played like the Creepy Crawl out in St. Louis. We did a few good tours, and then I got back from that. I started Reason to Fight with some friends, and we weren't going to do much at all, but we did, and like we got to play CBGBs, we got to do like Tsunami Fest, things like that. So a lot of good. We played on a mountain, like we played a snowboard park up in New Hampshire. A lot of weird, cool things. That
isn't it safe to say that like Reason to Fight was sort of like the go-to band in Providence there for a couple years? Like,
yeah, we played like every single show.
Yeah, like it's like if you're going up to Providence to play and you need local support that's gonna hustle.
I would book half of them, over half. I would just be. People would say, "Hey," and it was great because, like, even like Freddie or Richie from Wisdom, there was no agent, no nothing. Like, "Hey, could you do something on this date?" I'm like, "Yeah, okay, done," and that was it. Like, no contracts, no negotiations. So it was like that with a lot of bands.
Yeah,
and I would
tell me about it. I'm still this is what me and Larry Kelly do down at the Bowery Electric. It's like,
that's great. Once you get into the agents and the contracts, and then it's like, I just show up. It's going to be great. Like, I'll promote it. I'll do this, but the people that know, the other people you got to, So, and then I did that, but we're DVD, Death Before Dishonor is a full-time band. We're busy. So I was never the guy to have like a partner in a booking. Like when I was booking, I like to be the guy to, all the blame goes on me, all the responsibility, I wanted to make sure everything was right. So I didn't have a partner. And like, when I joined DVD, and I'm like, I'm not even going to be here. I'm not booking a show if I'm not here. So I don't do it anywhere near as much.
Well, I mean that, and Josh says, Greg helped my band Kuya, and Joe Frank says, as one of those bands, it's never a question if you guys call, So, which kind of brings us to Death Before Dishonor. Like it kind of seemed to me like they needed a good, dependable guy that had the right stuff and somebody that could step in and you got that call. Could you tell us about like when that call came in?
So backstory, Ben, who's the drummer of DVD, was also our drummer in Reason to Fight. So me being a dad and I have a plumbing business, I'm a busy guy. I didn't have much time, but man, he caught me on my birthday when I was just going through some shit one time. And I got the call like 9 a.m. on my birthday. Hey, since you're kind of like down on your luck and shit and we need a bass player, do you think you'd be willing to, maybe play some shows with us?
Right.
And I said, yeah, I'll play. I was like, what do we got coming out? It's like, well, we got a couple of shows here and there. And then it was like, as soon as I joined, we get this offer to go to Europe with Terror and band Lion's Law. And
I remember that.
Yeah, Jesus Peace. And it was 3 weeks. And so it's like, okay, now we got a month to learn this whole set. We're going for 3 weeks. I just made it happen. And man, it's what I always wanted. I've been playing in bands. So I started when I was 14. The first band Josh didn't catch on there was called Big Mistake. So I played that. Like that was the first band. And ever since then, I'm just like, man, I want to tour. But always kind of knew I liked hardcore and punk. So I need a backup plan. So I've always had jobs. That's my parents too, both like kind of immigrant families, working class to like, jobs were very important. Hard work.
Yep.
So whatever you're doing, you got to do to the fullest kind of thing. And I always had my my source of income and then my hobby / addiction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a good way to play it. And we've talked about this many times, is part of the reason that, I mean, the band I'm in is, not sort of at that level, but it's very enjoyable because everybody sort of, it's a hobby. And instead of like, we have to do this and, freaking out about that. And, everybody's okay. Everybody has a job. Everybody does all right. We do this now because we love it. So, so that, with that perspective, it playing shows and traveling, it's a little bit different. We don't have to do a show because of the money or because if it's a little bit of a trip in some place we've never been before, that sounds fun. Let's do it.
And the great thing about Death Before Dishonor, that's like what we're all about.
Yeah.
We love like, Eastern Europe. We did Central America 2 years ago, and it's like,
right.
All right, we're not going to make any money. We're probably going to have to cut our merch prices in half, but we're going to do like 12 countries in 2 weeks, and we're going to have to take 9 flights and this, and drive through the jungle.
Sure.
And those were some of the most fun shows, crazy, wild times. And that was great. Like a couple of years ago, we played in Bulgaria. We played two shows in Bulgaria. They were some of the most fun shows ever.
Your situation reminds me a little bit of a friend that I kind of grew up with, Laz Pina, who plays in a band now plays in a band El Nino. And we all kind of came up together. We spent a lot of time together here in the city. Me and his brothers, and we went to Kennedy High School and this and that, and Laz toiled away in a lot of bands coming up, and just sort of meat and potatoes, just playing kind of shows, and then he got the call from El Nino, and then he joined El Nino, and it's like a Rocky story almost, and it's like in a certain way. I mean, you got the call and. You got to live a lot of your dreams. I'm really happy for you. When you got that call, I was like, that guy deserves it, man.
I know we're not on like this huge level, and it sounds corny when I say it, but it is a dream come true. Like a 14-year-old me is so happy for myself. I'm so psyched.
And you're in with some good guys, and you love the music, and you're going places. And let's talk a little bit about Nowhere Bound, and where was it recorded? What was the process a little bit? Are you happy with it?
Yes. It sounds incredible. We went to Zeus. He's out in Western Mass. It was like Rock Valley Studios, but we banged it out in a couple of weeks, really. Like the songs, it was Ben and our guitarist B-Roll had these songs like in the works for a while, probably since, a few years. So we were able to like just put it all together. They went in pretty prepared, and I'm happy with it.
Cool.
I'm psyched for the release. It's coming out May 16th. We're going to be doing May 17th. We're playing down in Pennsylvania as a record release. With
I got that. Hold on, let me get that. Here it is, and I like this. It's sort of a it pays homage to an old flyer.
Yeah.
This one here at where's this, Club Reverb?
Yep.
Yeah. Tell us about this.
So this is Mike McColgan, original singer of Dropkick Murphys, is doing the first album, Do or Die. Wisdom at Jane's is playing, Sheer Terror. I'm not sure if Lion's Law is still doing it or not. Band Skinhead, us, Yellow Stitches, who are great, Liberty and Justice. It's going to be basically, it's an Oi Fest without being called an Oi Fest. So.
I see.
And going back probably to like 2009 or somewhere like that. Reason to Fight played like an East Coast Oi Fest down in Allentown, Pennsylvania. So it's kind of cool that it's almost like that again. I don't think you would want to call it the Oi Fest because that was a pretty crazy show.
Right.
It's like
Oi Fests in the state of Pennsylvania generally get crazy.
Especially Allentown. I don't know if you've been there.
I remember going there with Biohazard back in the day. It was crazy.
Wu-Tang played down the street the same night. It was just insane.
This looks great, man. In June, you're doing some shows with Haywire, who are like the hottest thing right now.
Yeah, those are going to be real fun.
Yeah.
We're doing Arizona, California, Washington, and Oregon. They're going on a 3-month tour. We're doing 2 weeks of it.
I see. Are you doing all these shows here?
All those listed, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I assume when you do something like this, you fly in, you rent a van, you do hotels at night, you rent a van.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. And then, so before that, we do have our Boston record release too.
I have that. Yeah, let's get that.
And
is that
May 18th? It's in Boston at the Middle East. The headliners on that one's Missing Link.
Yeah, I got it somewhere. Hold on. Let me find it. Hold on.
Yeah,
the Fort Dishonor show. No, I don't know. You sent me that one, right?
Yeah. Record release.
That's not. No, this one's in Chicago.
It's
Let me look again. Maybe I didn't download it.
Cambridge.
Maybe I didn't download it. Hold on. You sent it to me. You texted it to me. Right? Oh wait, here.
Yeah, Missing Links is like.
Oh, here it is. I got it.
18th.
I got it. I missed it when I downloaded. Hold on. Here we go. Fastest draw in the West, right here.
That should be crazy. It's downstairs at the Middle East, which I'm sure you've been to the Middle East a few times.
There you go. Boom. Missing Link, Death Before Dishonor, Shattered Realm. Yeah. Street Power.
Soulless and Give Up Hope.
Right on.
Oh,
amazing! Amazing Middle East is still there after years of it's closing. This is it. It's still there.
Yeah. Every few years you get a scare, but I've been going there for 20 plus years too.
Yeah, I've never played there, man.
No,
I'd like to play.
Not even upstairs. No,
okay. Never played there. I see this is happening. Another one. This is the Rumble in Chicago, right?
Yeah.
This one looks pretty wild. E-Town.
Cold World, Never Ending Game, Big Boy. Yeah, that one's going to be a Bad Beat. Have you heard Bad Beat? I think you'd like them. They got a good
Queensway
hardcore with a good punk feel. That one's going to be crazy. So we're doing that on the way back. We're flying back from the California tour. We're hitting that, and then we're coming home.
And then is this? I see this last one here. Is this? This is hardcore.
Yes.
Yeah. This Marauder and ended Shattered Realm. Yeah.
Yep.
Bayway. This is. Is this is hardcore August 8th and 9th?
Yes.
Because I don't know what the March 24th show is.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah. Oh, on sale Monday, March 24th.
Yeah, that's a little confusing.
Okay. Yeah.
But
you guys played with a lot of heavy and hard bands.
Yeah.
A lot.
And we actually, you listen to us. We're fast. We got a few heavy songs, but we play like, we've got a real punk feel.
Yeah. No, you guys, you guys are like a little. I kind of. It seems a little more hardcore than. So, and here's what's up? Shouting out Chris from Bulldoze. What's up, Chris? Man, we got speaking of
hard heavy bands.
speaking of hard heavy and Polish.
Yeah.
Yeah. And not only that, speaking of hard, heavy, and Polish, and then on top of it, we got his cousin coming on the show. Mike's coming on the show at some point. So yeah. So
a lot of Polish power.
That's it. Yeah, Polish power. So this is cool that you sent me the new album on cassette.
Yeah.
Very cool. And this is all our friends at Bridge 9, correct?
Bridge 9's, yeah, we've been with Bridge 9 like pretty much since the beginning. Brian's Chris has been good, so no real reason to go anywhere else.
Yeah, we love Chris and we love Bridge 9, and Bridge 9 has been very good to me and my
Oh,
bands, and got a lot of love for Chris and everything he's done up there, and Larry Kelly and just their whole thing. Yeah. And Chris's daughter has a store opening up, you know.
Yeah. And he just had another baby, right? Just a few. Here's
a cool shot that I found in my archive. I got to show you this. Get a load of this.
Cool.
Yep.
Nice.
Your kids, right?
No, those aren't my kids, but we do have a picture like that.
That's what I thought the picture was.
No, that was from like another film. Because me and you met. Well, I booked that one of the New York Chronicles movie. We did a screening in Providence.
That's right.
And then we came out to another screening. I got some. Yeah, I don't.
And I remember seeing you and the kids in the park.
Yeah. We.
Yeah. Yo, you know what's crazy? I see on your social media, like your daughter's like all grown up now. It's like, how did that happen so fast?
She's 15. Yeah.
That's crazy. And your son, it's like, wow, that happened fast.
Everything. Like you don't realize how life didn't move as fast until they were born. Now I it's like, I just see life flying by.
Yeah,
they're great kids, man. I couldn't have been luckier even with them. They're just
you have good kids, man.
And they love me doing what I do. They see that I'm passionate about it. They've been to shows, so they see what it's about. They've met my friends. I mean, me and my son Craig Satari came up this weekend. We did a whole seafood fest all weekend. We've been doing it like yearly. But my son
came up on his motorcycle.
They rode bikes. Yeah.
Came up, I saw that.
We stuffed ourselves like ate so much.
That's awesome. Your kids get to see you doing something, what their dad loves doing. And I was fortunate, I got to see my dad, direct on a film set growing up, and I got to see my dad doing something that he loved doing, and it greatly affected me. And to see your kids seeing you doing what you truly love doing has a good positive effect on them.
Definitely. My daughter the other day had to just went for a school meeting because they asked, and I said, I'll go, just talk with her teachers. They all love her, but they're like, out of all the kids, they're like, as soon as we ask her what she wants to be when she grows up, she says, I want to be a nurse and a cinematographer. Aww. And they're like, oh, which one? And she's like, both. Like, do the nursing and I'll be a cinematographer. And they're like, oh, you don't want to choose? And she's just so used. I mean, it used to be when she was like 3 years old. She said she wanted to be a princess plumber. Now she's like, I want to be this. And they all both have 2 jobs always, because it's like my dad's great plumber and a musician. And he does this, and it is good. I mean, they see other parents who could be miserable, hate their jobs.
Yeah.
I'm like, I mean, the only like plumbing pays well, like it's the best job I could have fell into, because I didn't ever think I'd be a plumber.
You are a master plumber. How do you achieve master plumber status?
You got to do an apprenticeship, basically lasts about 5 years. Then you get a journeyman's license, and then you have to do so much work on your own, show them that you can do these things, and and then you take another test and you get your master, which is like your contractor's license then. So then you can pull permits, and and then I stayed in. I got my pipe fitter so I could do heating work. I test backflow preventers. I do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Joe Frank said, "How to deal with a ton of crap." That's what you do.
Yeah. Every day. It's I have a shitty day.
That's great.
Yeah.
I wanna let me get the album cover again. The record is Nowhere Bound. It is on Bridge 9 Records in a couple of different formats. So go pick it up. Reach out at Bridge 9 Records. Is there anybody you want to thank? Is there anybody you want to shout out? Anything you want to let us know?
We've got to thank Zeus for making it sound amazing. We've got Greg from Hold My Own and Mongoloids. He did some guest vocals on it. Billy from Biohazard. He did a song with us. Josh Long from a band called Skinhead. Yeah. Those guys, I mean, everybody that will buy it and will listen and, that's been supporting us in the past. But pretty psyched about it. I was psyched about the weekend we got coming up with PA and Boston. So it's looking like real. It's good. I'm pretty psyched about it, and I think people are gonna like it. So,
I got to ask you this question. Michael Roche asks, have you ever thought up any riffs while you were plumbing and then couldn't wait to get home to your instrument?
All the time. I hum into my phone, or definitely lyrics all the time because, yeah.
Hey, Laura, you back?
Yes, I'm
Hi.
back.
How you doing?
I had a walking date. So I was on the phone. I was on the phone with Elise, and we went, she was walking in her neighborhood. I was walking in my neighborhood, and yeah. So
you guys aren't that far from each other, right?
No, we see each other at shows and stuff, and I've been to some of his shows. He always puts on a good party.
I've been to some of your art shows. Yep.
Yes. So yeah, that's right. But my favorite one being, that April show right before before the Tompkins Square Park show. The one, yeah.
We played in an alley outside.
Yep. Yeah. Madball on the concrete. You know what I'm saying? It was cool. Yeah.
Hey, Robert Hogg in Scotland sent me this picture. So he just sent me this. I guess you guys are well loved in Scotland.
Oh, I'm actually my mom. My grandfather was Scottish. But we played Glasgow. Yeah, probably a year and a half ago.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, Jeff. Jeff says he's definitely ordering the album. It's at Bridge 9. Support Bridge 9. They support us. So hey, thanks, Greg. Thanks a million, man. And let's do this again soon. And awesome. I'll catch you out there at one of these shows out on the perimeter.
Great. Yeah, it'll be out May 16th on vinyl, cassette, Spotify, everywhere. So listen, pick it up. Thanks for having me.
Best of luck with it.
My pleasure, Greg. Talk to you soon.
Okay. Good seeing you.
Bye, guys. Thanks.
Yeah.
All right.
He's awesome. Yeah. I'm going to go back and listen to his segment for sure. He's
like I said, I'm so happy for him, man. It's like one of those rare stories where the guy put in the work. He was in the trenches. He was doing it because he loved it. And then, he got a call from the majors, man, and he got to, and he's living his dreams. So I'm really happy for him. He deserves it. So there is some justice in this world.
Nice guys do win sometimes, So yeah.
Hey, let me take a sponsor break, and we'll come back, and we'll bring Devin on from DTFM. We'll do some music, and we'll bring on Aaron and Sally Mae. We got still a couple more to go. So I'll see you in a bit. All right.
Okay. Sounds good.
And now a word from our sponsors.
Since 1992, Generation Records has been a mainstay of the New York metropolitan area music scene. Today, they offer a diverse selection of new and used rock, jazz, indie, hip-hop, punk, hardcore, metal, blues, soundtrack, and reggae LPs, as well as t-shirts, posters, and other merchandise. They buy used record collections and music memorabilia and will pay you top dollar for them. House calls made for large collections in the tri-state area. Call or email generationrecords@gmail.com and follow them on Facebook and Instagram.
Will that be cash or in debt?
Do you mean debit?
Yes. Sorry. Another eternally satisfied customer.
Yo, what's happening? I'm out here at one of our all-ages Sunday matinees on the Bowery. I hope that you are enjoying today's show. I just want to let you know that the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live needs your support. Please step up. There is a Patreon page that has a lot of unique program. Shows are announced there first. Lots of good stuff. There's a PayPal address right there on the screen if you want to make a contribution. There's also a super chat function. You could do that. But the bottom line is this show exists because of your support. We're going to be doing it for a long, long time. Thank you for all your support through the years. Back to the show.
Conditioned by indoctrination, conditioned by society. You're a victim of the digital age, a 21st century casualty. Open your eyes, you're losing control. Open your eyes, put down the phone. Conditioned by misinformation, it's just the media telling us lies. Decipher fiction from the truth, society's slow and tragic demise. Open your eyes, you're losing control. Open your eyes, put down the phone. Everyone's got their fucking...
And we're back. It's the one, the only New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. What's up? Hope everybody's well. Hope there's something exciting going on in your life. If not, let this be the most exciting thing you're doing today. I hope it's all good. That said, I want to mention a couple of events. Hey, yo, this Saturday I'm doing the Cinematic and Music Tour. It is free to all patrons. If you want to come out and you're not a patron, just reach out to me. We'll make it work. This Saturday, May 10th, in La Ciudad de Nueva York, we're doing the Cinematic and Music Tour. There's a whole bunch of us going. You're welcome to come be a part of it. Reach out. We'd love to have you. The tour is ending up at Generation Records, where we are doing the Gregory Rudolph Smith London 77, The Lost Archive book signing and Q&A. You know, this is the book that I put together in the past couple of years. It is finally here. We're picking it up tomorrow. Very, very exciting. I really hope that you can make it. Even if you can't come out to the tour, please come down to Generation Records from 5 to 7 this Saturday and support the Greg Smith book event. Memorial Day weekend in our beloved Tompkins Square Park, Larry Kelly will be running the Rebelmatic non-residents Butterbrain, of which we're going to have Aaron and Salome on in a couple minutes. End of Hope and Sonic Bomb in Tompkins Square Park. But I will not be there because Incendiary Device is playing the sold-out show with 7 Seconds, Negative Approach, the Effigies, and Style Log 13 at Punk Rock Bowling. And, of course, like I said, I will be hosting a tour at the Punk Rock Museum on the 25th, culminating with a screening of selected segments of the New York Hardcore Chronicles film. So if you're out in Vegas, come do the tour, come see us play. We'd love to see you out there. Just regarding the park show, we need a hand. Once again, whenever we do these park shows, there's some work. We need some help. We got to get the stage out. We got to get the stage out of the storage place a couple blocks from there. We need help setting. We need help setting up the stage and breaking it down. So any volunteers, reach out to Larry Kelly, please. You're doing both. We'll see you out in Vegas. That said, let's bring on Lori Dawn once again. Hey.
How you doing?
How you doing? What was that?
Oh, sorry. My my email was open on my computer.
You're blowing up. Must have been from that walk. You're blowing up.
Yeah.
Hey, let's bring on our incredible friend and sponsor from DTFM Vinyl Distro. Let's bring Devin on from Fargo, North Dakota. What's up, bro?
How's it going?
It's going good, man. How are you?
I'm doing really good.
Good. We're gonna do a little show and tell for a couple minutes before we bring our next guests on.
We are gonna do a little show and tell. I have some really rare stuff and some really cool stuff, and I'm gonna start it off.
Let's see
with this gem right here. We All Want Our Time in Hell pumpkin orange version, a tribute to Samhain or Samhain, however you say it. I think there was only like 250 of these ever pressed. This is super rare. You will probably not find this anywhere else.
Is that one of the original printings?
It is one of the original printings. It's one of the first printings.
Who's on that? We've
got Ringworm, Midnight, Joel Grind, Ghoul, Acid Witch, Like Rats, Shed the Skin, Ritual Howls, Brain Tentacles, and one of my personal favorites, Child Bite.
Cool. Good stuff. Next,
this is a real gem right here. This is in mint shape. And again, probably will never be seen again. The entire discography of Disembodied. 500 copies pressed only. Each one colored, each album remastered for peak sound.
Wow.
How many records? How many? What is the complete disc? Excuse me. Excuse my ignorance. I'm a little unfamiliar with this said band.
They were kind of like the Midwest Dead Guy, and that's the only way I can describe them. I am not super familiar with Disembodied either, other than I have like one album on CD and I really enjoy it. Heavy, crushing, but yeah, like this is everything. This is all the Disembodied albums. This was put out by Good Fight maybe 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And to find one in mint condition is a white whale.
Nice.
There you go.
Another one.
Next up.
This album is kind of a personal favorite. Devil Master. Now, a lot of people think this is the first Devil Master album. Technically, it's not. This is a collection of the 2 EPs smashed together to make one record. This is a band from Philly. And if you like surf music and black metal smashed together, that's what Devil Master is.
Wow. I did not know such things even existed.
It was an interesting combo.
It exists and it is amazing. Now, another great rarity here. I think there's only 550 of these, and it's on like an orange swirl. Hellmouth. This is Jay from the Suicide Machines hardcore band, and I believe he was doing this album when he was going through a really bad depression, and it shows because this is so dark and raw and crushing, and there's no light at the end of the tunnel.
What's the name of this band?
Hellmouth.
So basically, you have to be in a very good place mentally to handle this record.
If you are having a bad day, this is probably not the record for you.
Okay.
And of course, I just got these in today. I'm super excited about it, and I decided to pick my favorite of the trilogy, the Nerve Agents. Days of the White Owl. All 3 of these albums are in today, and I got the green light to sell them today, and I'm super excited about this. Drew, you've heard me talk about this band and sing their praises.
You love this band, yeah.
I mean, the fact this album in and of itself, it's a miracle that it's back in print.
Who reprinted it?
Revelation. Revelation is responsible for repressing all of it.
Right on.
Very cool.
Cool.
So the way to describe this band is if you took Samhain, the Germs, a hornet's nest, and threw a whiskey bottle at it, that's what the Nerve Agents would sound like.
Got it.
Love it. That's awesome.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's all I got.
I feel like I want more.
I know. I love these segments because it reminds me of the old record store days where that's all you had. That's the record store was where the new music came out, and that's it. And when records were released, you would have like a line like around the corner, because you wanted to buy it that day. You wanted to be the first one of your friends to buy that record. So I love these segments.
Cool.
Well,
Thanks,
thank you.
Devin. Thanks, Devin. And damn, I sure appreciate DTFM being a sponsor of the show through all the years, man. I can't thank you enough.
Well, I love sponsoring this show because it's a great show. So
thank you, man. We'll talk
Get
to you.
in touch with me about Montreal. I'll send you to all the good places.
definitely.
We'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Okay. Bye. All right. Very cool. Hey, Aaron, Sally, ready to come on? Oh, yes, I think they are. Let's see. Do I have an intro? Hey, hey, Andreas, you out there? I'm gonna, okay, I see you. Let me do Butterbrain real quick and then we'll bring you on, Andreas. Okay, here we go. Please welcome back a frequent flyer on the show, an old friend, an old family friend, currently residing in Rockaway Beach, from Butterbrain, Mr. Aaron Collins, and his bandmate, Sally Mae. What's up?
Hey.
Live from New York.
Yes, the incredible Sally Mae.
What's
Can you
going
guess where
on,
we
you
are?
guys?
Can you guess where we are?
Central Park?
Close. Let's see if we get the yeah.
Oh, wow.
We figured what a better place to do it than
That's
Tompkins.
cool.
Wow, you're in Tompkins Square Park, right across from Niagara, known formerly the A7.
That's awesome.
A little pre-show hype.
I like that sweatshirt. They came prepared. Okay, look at this. This is our most prepared guests.
Well, you guys are playing there in a couple weeks, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we're stoked.
Can't wait. It's gonna be a real cool.
Yeah, it's a good one. You got a good slot too.
Oh hell yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't wait to see you there.
Yeah, we're stoked. We're stoked. This park is special to us. We love playing these shows. We're honored to be asked again to do it. Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, let's talk about Armageddon Party. Tell us a little bit about the new Butterbrain release, how it came to be, and what's going on with it.
All right, I'll give a little and I'll pass off to Sally. So, yeah, man, this was like about a year in the making. We approached Angelo about producing it. He was in for a Fishbone show with, like around this time last year. We had demoed some stuff and he dug it. And he came in a little later in the summer for a little pre-production session. We had a full album's worth of material and we said, let's go. And the artwork is done by the woman sitting next to me on my right. She does most of the Butterbrain in-house artwork, all the in-house artwork and merch and stuff. So we're proud of we're a DIY band. We might not be a typical straight ahead hardcore punk band, but we definitely, have that ethos behind us.
Absolutely.
And this is my favorite personally of Sally Mae's art. I love this piece.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I agree.
Really good.
Yeah. Cool.
Thanks.
Cool stuff. And this was and like you said, this is the one that was recorded in your is that in your bedroom or your living room with
yeah, basically, you know, we turned it out in Rockaway. We did the drums. We were going to do the whole thing there, and then a friend, owner of a studio in Long Island City, a pro spot, Spin Studios. Nick Chimbukas invited us in for a day session. He had the room free for a day, so we did the drums and bass over there. He ended up mixing the whole record, and then we did the drums and bass. We moved it to Rockaway. You know, it was a nonstop bonanza of like, you know, scheduling in guitars and vocals, overdubs, and then we woke up on the first day. We got out of Spin Studios about like 2 a.m. We had was set to start at like 8 a.m. and we woke up about 6 a.m. to gunshots through my neighbor's window. So that's how the session started.
Well, and of course, working with Angelo is always an adventure.
It was awesome, man. I gotta say, you know, he's definitely a little manic, as we know, but he brought a frenzy to the record that was like it was 5 days. I thought it was a little ambitious to try to do the whole thing while he was here, but somehow we got it done. I'll tell you, the guy worked until and
with a smile on his face the entire time. He was the happiest person. We even argued, and he was just laughing at us.
He called us the Peanuts gang.
Hey, you know, when Angelo is great, he's really great.
Yeah, let me tell you. So first off, he's, you know, has his hands in writing on the record. He does a poem on the record, and he plays drums on 2 songs on the record. A sax solo on another song. He dove in, man. It wasn't like mailing it in or anything. He dove right in and like helped us. He was a big part of creating the record.
Sure.
And you know, I would think at the end of the day, it's got a Butterbrain meets Fishbone kind of vibe to it. He was awesome. I was gonna say, he actually flew out 6 a.m. flight. We worked round the clock to get the last bit of the horn section done till like literally like 4 a.m., 4:30 a.m. Got in the car, drove him to the airport, and he took a flight back for a Fishbone show in San Diego that night.
So wait a second. 4 a.m, you guys are doing horns in your apartment?
Yeah, in Rockaway.
Good thing the neighbors like him.
Yeah. I got a good report.
I'd kill
you. Know, the neighbors. I got a guy next door that had a indie label for a minute. He's more of like a stoner rock kind of dude, and the guy next door does some painting and shit. So they love it. They actually, when they hear us playing, they're like, "Oh man, keep going," you know. So I'm very blessed.
I guess you pulled him aside and said, listen, I got Angelo Moore from Fishbone coming. There's going to be some horns. Please cut me. Please be understanding.
I gave him a notice. I said, listen, the week is going to be a little, you know, we're going to be playing some music, and they were cool as fuck, man. So it wasn't just horns on the last night. It was about every night till 2 or 3 in the morning, you know, waking up, grab a cup of coffee, do it again at like 8, you know. There was little sleep to be had, you know.
Yeah, heavy on the horn in most of the songs.
Joe Frank. Joe Frank says he'd love to bring them up by me. If you guys want to play upstate New York, you got to reach out to Joe Frank.
You know, we were just. I got to reach out to Greg Reason because we got a lot of people asking us to do Boston and upstate. Yes. So definitely, most definitely, yep.
I would love to see you guys up here.
Hey, so tell us about. You got a couple shows coming up, including this one here.
Yep, you want to go? You want to tell them?
No.
Yeah.
that's Save Ferris. So yeah, we're doing an opening slot with them at the Meadows on June 6th, Friday, June 6th. We're basically, you know, we've been working so hard on the record and putting it out that we just, you know, starting to play out and we plan to play a bunch of the new records. So the first one out is the Park Show here, May 24th, and then Save Ferris a couple weeks afterwards, and then we got Murphy's Law up in Albany with Mike Valenti's spot, the Empire, Albany.
Yeah, that's a great place.
I think The Take is on that. It's a big lineup. Yeah, stoked about this one, man.
Murphy's Law, The Take, Butterbrain. On my birthday.
Is that your birthday?
Yeah, June 28th. We're playing Boston that day. It's like there's like 5 great shows happening on my birthday this year.
That's what's up. Yeah. And then we got We're doing July 4th. Rockaway. We've been doing that the last few years. Every July 4th.
Is that the Connolly's thing?
Yeah, I know you've been to a couple of those. That's the outdoor spot, and weather permitting,
that's a cool show. That's a cool show, and you guys
very
are like
local vibe.
Very local vibe. You guys are like become like a beloved Rockaways band, you know?
Yeah. Another flyer by Sally over here, and then we got one that I didn't. We don't have the flyer for yet. It's July 29th. It's a Sunday matinee at Gold Sounds in Brooklyn with Hub City Stompers and the band Fuacata from Miami that we go out and play in Florida with every year. And then we got the Best of the Worst from New Jersey on that as well.
Cool.
Ska-oriented show.
Yeah. So once again, the new Butterbrain release, Armageddon Party. Where can people pick it up?
So thank you for asking. Butterbrain 1, the number 1, Butterbrain1, .bandcamp.com. That's our merch site where we have the vinyls, the shirts, merch, the new CDs, and all that stuff. And then we have a new website too, butterbrainnyc.com, which has a link to all that. And then and it's all, streaming and all digital platforms. And we also have an official Butterbrain YouTube channel, which has all the videos we've done, and we've been, as most know, hard at work. We feel it important to kind of do a little visual with the singles that we put out. So we've done 4, and we might have a surprise one after the album was released 2 days ago, Monday, and we might have an extra special video surprise coming up in a few weeks.
You know what? You guys are grinding. You guys are putting the work in. You're grinding. I feel like your progress is slow but steady. I feel like you guys are just you got I have a lot of respect. You guys for what you guys are doing. You guys are grinding it out. You're putting in good work. You're putting out great music. We're all playing great shows together, and I think Butterbrain is really starting to make its mark. So I'm excited for you guys.
I appreciate that. This I think it really this record, like, not I've done a lot of music in my time, and it's probably the piece of music I'm most proud of. It was a 5-day frenzy. It kind of shows on the record, and it was DIY, but well done, I like to say. And I'm proud of it, man. I'm fucking really proud of it.
Good.
You should be. The new stuff is great from what I heard. And, Butterbrain is one of those bands that like makes you think, but also makes you feel a little better about yourself, So
thank you.
Yeah.
That's kind of.
Yeah, I'm going to pick this one up on vinyl for sure because I need that artwork. So
Butterbrain's a good time band. And
it is.
It's like Butterbrain's a good time band. You have a good time. It's a good time when you see Butterbrain, and
absolutely.
And there's a lineage there
fun.
that which goes back for me personally. There's a long lineage. Butterbrain going back to the band that you were in with your brother Ethan, White Trash. My brother did your video for Apple Pie. That was the first MTV Buzzbin video back in the day. I mean, you worked with you worked on one of my with my dad on his shoe. So we have a long history together, Aaron. I love you, man, and
I love you too, brother.
Yeah, I'm just real happy for you. We will talk to you guys soon. Thank you.
See you in the park.
See,
May 24th in the park.
There you go. Will everybody get your ass down to the park? If you're not in Vegas, seeing ID and taking my tour, you better be in Tompkins Square Park.
And Women of the Pit are going to be out there, Sally. We're going to be out there with Women of the Pit with Punk Rock Saves Lives. So, yep.
See you guys later.
I love them. Everybody,
love you guys.
Yep. Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
Very cool. Very, very,
Oh.
very cool.
Yeah,
they're awesome. And like I said, they're really they're grinding, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're grinding it out. Let me take
a quick creative force too. They're just putting out videos and art and great music. It's all yeah. It's really
Let
great.
me take a quick sponsor break, and you will come back, and we will bring on our next guest to talk about his book, Our Fucking Park: The Faces of Punk Rock in Tompkins Square Park.
Love it.
We'll see you in a minute.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna run this promo a little bit because this is important stuff. This is the book promo. The book is on sale now. We have the book event coming up. What's happening? This is filmmaker, musician, and the host of the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, Drew Stone, and I want to talk to you about an incredible project that's near and dear to my heart that's finally coming to fruition after many, many years. I'm talking about London 77, The Lost Archive, the photography of Gregory Rudolph Smith. This is an incredible, never-before-seen look at a musical era that changed the face of modern music. Buried and forgotten for more than 45 years, these incredible photos have thankfully been rediscovered. For 8 months, in 1977 and 1978, Smith documented the golden age of the punk era in London. Never before seen photos of Adam and the Ants, Generation X, Susie and the Banshees, Crass, X-Ray Specs, Don Letts, the Slits, and many, many others are documented during this pivotal moment in musical history. I want to give you a little backstory. Greg Smith is a family friend who was my father, who was a film director's cameraman for many years, did many commercials with him. And later on, he was behind the lens during the golden age of music videos when we did some of the great videos of the 90s, like Onyx Slam, Typo Negative Black #1, and Run DMC, Biohazard, Tales from the Hard Side. This incredible archive was buried in a storage unit for decades and heading for the dumpster before Greg gifted them to me. And with the help of Generation Records, we put this project together. This is a rare glimpse into the vibrant time of this embryonic movement, and they have been compiled into a beautiful tabletop book that is now available for the public for the first time. There it is in all its glory. This is important stuff, and we're really excited that the public is finally going to be able to enjoy this incredible archive. I hope that you enjoy this passion project, London 77, The Lost Archive, the photography of Gregory Rudolph Smith, at least half as much as we did putting it together. Thank you. Sorry about that. What am I doing? Sorry about that. I got shook, which is pretty rare. We're back. It's the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. Yeah, that's right. My brother had the first Buzzbin video, and I had the very first Yo MTV Raps video. Is that right? Perhaps. Yeah, my brother had the first Buzzbin video with Apple Pie. This is the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, and we are sponsored by blah, 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 and the Texas Silver Rush. They're a jewelry design firm and boutique store located in the birthplace of the Texas country music scene in Fredericksburg, Texas. They specialize in working with musicians in all music genres to design and create unique one-off pieces, as well as to style them for stage, album covers, promo photos, and social media exposure. Their clients includes Rock and Roll Hall of Famers Greg Roulet, Ringo Starr, and of course, Agnostic Front. Information on online sales is being taken at their Facebook and Instagram page, and of course, www.texassilverrush.com. Last but not least, 126 Hardcore Clothing is a streetwear brand for restless individuals who don't compromise. They're about being positive, spontaneous, and true to yourself. For years, they experimented with several printing methods and materials and collaborated with a large number of designers and illustrators, always giving room for fresh perspectives while retaining the hardcore attitude. Get in touch with them. Ramp up your game at www.126clothing.com. That said, let's bring back Lori Dawn. And just a reminder to everybody out there, this Sunday, Lori Dawn is co-hosting the Mother's Day show. We have a lot of guests coming through. The Freddie Madball show has been pushed back a couple of weeks, although it is happening. But this Sunday, big Mother's Day show with a lot of special guests.
Yes, it's going to be a fun time.
You better hope so.
That cracks me up, man. It's great.
I was sort of like, I don't know. And I showed it to you, and you're like, it's
I was like,
great.
yes.
You're like, yes. I love it. Let's talk about, I want to bring on our next guest. who is the force behind this book right here, Our Fucking Park, The Faces of Punk Rock in Tompkins Square. So that said, our next guest is a German multimedia artist and author hailing from Munich, Germany. Through the years 2019 through 2024, he captured the essence of punk rock shows in our beloved Tompkins Square Park. Here today to talk about his new book, Our Fucking Park, Rebellion, Noise, and Punk Rock in Tompkins Square Park, coming at us from the East Village of New York City, please welcome Andreas Troer. Hey, man.
Hey, how are you? What's going on?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm right around the park.
Yeah. And how's things in the Lower East Side?
Quiet so far. I mean, we got rained out for 2 shows, so I was hoping we get going like 2 weeks ago, and I think it looks like more or less it's going to be next Saturday, the first show in the park. And we got
and then we're doing our show on Memorial Day weekend, right?
Yeah, I try to be there. I try to be there every time there's a show in the park.
Yeah, and you have been. So let's set the table a little bit first. How did you come up, and how did you get into the arts? What were your early influences, and kind of like what led and what eventually led to the book?
I got into photography when I was like 7 years old, and I shot my first film when I was 11. My father worked at a camera company, so we had tons of cameras at the house: film cameras, photo cameras, Super 8, normal 8 that ran a 16mm film that had to cut it in 2 pieces in order to glue it together to 8mm. So I started shooting and taking photographs and playing music when I was like 7, 11, 14. Got in a bunch of bands. Then started with technology, became a computer specialist, and got fed up relatively quickly. Went into film school, Munich, Germany, for 4 years, and then I made a bunch of short films who were kind of successful. Won the German Short Film Award in 1990 for a film about emergency workers, and I got a scholarship for NYU. I went to Tel Aviv, the film festival. I met the dean at NYU, Charles Milne at the time, showed him my movies. And he was like, hey, why don't you come to New York to study with us in New York Film Academy? New York University. And I said, who is paying for that? And he was like, well, the scholarship, I write you a letter of recommendation and you apply and we'll see. So I got that going and I went to school there. And then I had a connection to Nam June Paik through Paul Guerin, who was a friend of Chris Flash, who is one of the main organizers and get all the permits for Washington Square Park and Tompkins Square Park. So I started working with Nam June Paik, video art. I was doing video art before in Germany, and a bunch of shows going on, Limbach House and Frankfurt Fototage, showed here at the Granite Art Museum and in a bunch of galleries here in New York. And I worked with Nam June Paik on a regular basis on video art. And over times, I did a lot of broadcast stuff, a lot of commercials, a lot of corporate stuff to make money. But I also always worked in underground movies, documentaries, stuff that didn't have so much budget. And I worked with like political filmmakers, Herman Engel and Sonia Friedman at the time. He was one of my professors. So I got into more filmmaking actually than photography at the time. And then I made this movie, Kill the Artist, with Richard Kern and Nick Setz, who were my friends, acquaintances at the time. And that was a really hardcore movie that did not got shown enough because it's a little bit too extreme. There's a lot of stuff in it, very punky, so to speak. And it's online. It's on Vimeo. I mean, you can get it for $1 on Vimeo still. It got kicked off Prime, of course, because people started complaining about it. It's, very explicit, very.
What's the issue? Is it violence? Is it nudity? Is
everything? It's nudity. It's hardcore violence. It's Richard Kern and Nick Setz, they got censored all the time. Whenever they shipped something to Canada, this got stopped at the border. So there was a lot of. They were close friends of mine, and they were very well known in Munich, Germany, where I'm from. So everybody knew them there, and I was in the scene.
You German artists, just.
You can't believe me, right? So yeah, that was my film stuff, and then
you did a couple of books too, right?
I did 4 books. Yeah, I mean Our Fucking Park is the latest one. Anti-Biography is short stories. That's actually the second installation. There's like 2 books, Anti-Biography, Art, Sex, and Technology, and there's the Anti-Biography Unfiltered, which are basically biographical short stories about art, about filmmaking, about private stories, scandals. And that came out 2007. And it's around. It's been sold in local bookstores here in the East Village, and it's also available on Amazon. Although Amazon is a little bit a pain in the butt about Our Fucking Park book because of the word fucking. It's not in the search, so they block it from the search, and they block it also from advertising. So I wasn't really sure. In the beginning, I was like, hey, can I call it like that? And I looked it up on Amazon, and there were a bunch of books that had that word in it. So I said, so no problem. And then when I had it out and wanted to advertise it, they were like, no, not so fast.
That's interesting because, you know, I did a film called Who the Fuck Is That Guy? Yeah. The Fabulous Journey of Michael Alago. And it's a double-edged sword. On one hand, people are saying, don't call your film that. You shouldn't call your film that. Right. On the other hand, people go, that's the greatest title. I can't, you know, they know it right away. And it encompasses really the spirit of the film. I decided in the end to do the same thing that you did, which was, it feels right. Let's just go with it, you know?
Yeah, I made a family version too. I have the U substitute with a number sign just in order to show up in the searches, because I don't want to be, if people do just the search for photo book, Tompkins Square Park, I want to show up. Yeah. So I have the link on my website for the, I mean, they sell it. They do, I think for freedom of speech reasons, they have to sell it, or they have to print it, because they're basically the only game in town when it comes to self-publishing. So you can buy it from Amazon. I can just not advertise it there.
Yeah, that makes sense. So tell us about what was the sort of the timeline, the inspiration to starting to put to put the book together, and you know, we'll walk through the book a little bit.
I just started shooting in 2019 during the pandemic. My friend Garvey Rich gifted me a camera, a still camera, which I didn't have at the time, and I was like, well, let's go out and shoot. So I was going and shot the East Village, and then, you know, the park is around the block, and I was like there every weekend, and I said, hey, this is a really good characters. It's not just about the musicians, it's about the whole scene. It's about the onlookers, it's the costumes, it's about the dress, the makeup, the attitude. So I was there basically all the time photographing 600, 1,400 shots a day. And then and they're all edited. I'm a big editor, and I come from editing, photo editing, film editing. That's in my, you know, that's very important to me. So everything, I wanted to look everything good. I wasn't out to make another bad photograph, black and white punk book. I wanted it to be beautiful. So I tried to shoot beautiful portraits behind the musicians. So everybody is retouched, of course. Or if they like it or not, I don't care. But everybody looks really good. And that was a goal, to make it, to also approach a different kind of audience, because I wanted to show it. I always wanted to show the beauty behind the extreme. All my films have something really extreme to it, but they all look very beautiful. They're nicely done and well shot. So for me, aesthetics is very important, and that was one reason to start the book. And then Chris Flash was like, hey, you should make a book out of our photographs and so on and so forth. And I was like, yeah, it's very expensive. And that's why I resorted to Amazon, because that's on demand and that's an affordable thing. Otherwise, if you take a printer, it's like $10K.
So it is a what do you call that? A print on demand book?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So you didn't have to make a big investment and print up the books and roll the dice and do what we're doing with our book, going to pick up 500 books at the shipping place in Jersey tomorrow. It's print as you go, and in that case, I guess it's, you know, you're not putting yourself out there, right? It's a little bit easier.
I looked into it. I contacted the print in Canada actually, and they gave me a quote. And I think the quality would be probably better, but you're going to print at least 500 or 1,000 or 2,000 books. And I live in an East Village apartment. There's no way I can store 1,000 books. In my apartment. I leave a place to live.
100%. And like you said, just you know, I mean, looking at the book initially, I mean, it came on my radar screen. Larry Kelly, we're talking about it. There's so many of our friends and people that have played our shows. Here's Courtney from the Chronicles Society, Michelle that was with Spike Polite.
Right.
Here is the Trouble incarnate, Sky Diablo, one of my wife's friends, Spike Polite. I mean, and the shots, like you said, it's like a real. I tell you, I was showing this to my wife last night, and it's just like a parade of like one of her friends, one of her friends, one of her friends, one of her friends. It's like it's great, and these are just so fantastically composed. There's no they're all winners. Like the way I grade my photographs, it's a winner, and there's just so much going on here. What does the park, what does the park mean to you? I mean, as a resident of the neighborhood, what does Tompkins Square Park mean to you?
Resilience and riots. I mean, it's known for its riots in 1988, and Chris Flash and even Paul Guerin I worked with for a while back in the day. They made huge documentaries about it. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of video art out that Paul Guerin generated at the time. And I was hanging out with Chris, and I go there once in a while just for fun to eat some ice cream at Ray's and stuff. But for me, it's music, it's resilience, it's resistance, and it's music. And it's music at its best because everybody who is there, they are really good musicians. And although, sometimes the city cuts power and stuff like that, so we're gonna deal with that stuff. That happens too, but that's a part of it. And well, we'll see. I mean, the book is right. I'm talking to the Museum of Reclaimed Urban Space right now. I think they want to make a movie about the park. They were talking to me if I want to be involved in some way, and I'm probably gonna be working with them on something. I'm not exactly sure what they want to do. I just met Bill like recently, and he was like, "Yeah, let's do something together." So the park is a big place in the neighborhood. I mean, I've been living here for 32 years, and that's my space. This is where we go. This is where we go for music. This is where we go for entertainment. This is where we go to hang out and relax.
Yeah, that makes sense. And Gary just said the book's available without any search issues on Amazon UK with a 10-day turnaround.
Oh, good. That's possible. Yeah, I mean, it might show up. I see it once in a while popping up for certain searches, but I think if you searched it once, if you had it pop up once because you knew the link, then it shows up in your search because that's a sort of a caching issue of your Chrome browser, I suppose. But if you use a browser you have not looked it up with yet, it won't show up. Maybe UK is a different story, but here in the US, it's not. But on my website is a direct link it's a straight link to it where you can get it for both versions, either one you want. I mean, the content is the same. It's just the title is written differently. It's the same stuff. So
yeah, did you see that, Hags? There's like so many of our people in these shots, Yeah,
it's fantastic.
And the onlookers, the park goers are as interesting as the musicians. I just think
for sure.
The musicians are there performing, and it's harder to shoot the musicians because these kind of shots, I take one shot and I got it. The musicians is like a lot harder to shoot because I don't have one of those super fast autofocus cameras. Mine one is a little older because I like to shoot with the 5D for the color signs that has this punchy black for the punk I want, and that's harder to focus. So it takes me a little longer to get a good shot. But,
and I'm sorry. What camera are you using?
Our 5D, Canon 5D.
Canon 5D. That's our boy. That's Roberto from the non-residents there, who's giving him a big.
Yeah, I didn't know all the names, and it was really difficult.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, how did you once you took the shots? What did your research look like? Did you like to try to run down who's who?
Yeah, in the beginning, I just shot. I didn't think about that I needed the names. I was just going for the pictures. And then when the book idea, manifested a little more, I was like, oh, I kind of know the names, So what I did is basically I pulled up all the old flyers because they were on Facebook. So I pulled up all the old flyers and they had the date on it and my pictures had the date on it. So I matched the date of the flyer to the date of the pictures. And then I went on Facebook and found 80% of them, or asked everybody I knew, and then I emailed them or like messaged them and said, "Hey, is it okay to use the pictures?"
Hey,
what's your name? So this is how I got it. Still, there is a few missing, which I don't know. And I have like a load of other pictures. I could do a second edition of the book. I could be twice as big. It was just, didn't want to make it too expensive, because if I make it like a 200-page book, self-published, it's much more expensive than you can.
Sure.
If you have a publisher, you do a big run, and they run you with other things together, so you're cheap. But this one is relatively expensive to make, so I wanted to keep it affordable. That's why I only made like a,
And there's Chris Flash, who is really the I always call him sort of like the unheralded hero of these shows in the park, because he's the one in the winter that goes and gets the permits so we can do these shows. And he's, Chris Flash is an old school Lower East Side brick thrower, rabble rouser. And, he knows, that we have our rights to be able to be issued those permits, and Chris exercises that right and goes out of pocket to go and get these permits. All those shows that have been done in the park, all those big shows that, even the real big ones that we did, the Dr. No Benefit, the Warzone Rabies tribute, the Jimmy G benefit with the Boss Tones, the big crazy Madball show, and all these. Chris Flash is the one who gets these permits, and there he is right there. He's the patron saint. That's right, Heggs. He's the patron saint of the park, and he really makes it happen.
He'll have the book on his table too.
Yeah.
So he got a bunch of copies, and he will have the book at the shadow table every time there's a show at the park.
Yeah, and there's Paul Cripple, rest in peace, and Stizza, and there's just like a lot of our people showing up in this thing, and it's just and the photos are all winners, man. They're all winners, bro. And there's there's some of
Nikki,
Yep.
Toys.
I don't know their names. They like the photo very much. Yeah,
from the band Toys. This is kind of like a yearbook. Kind of has a yearbook feel to it, because there's so many of our, so many people that we know. It's kind of like a yearbook. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it, Lori.
Yeah, I love it.
Oh, good old Satan. There she is. She was at our show was at the show on Sunday, this past Sunday.
I have a few shots of her. Maybe in the second edition I put some other ones. I mean, I'm working on a third anti-biography book right now, which is going to be more like a little bit of a mix of photography and, let's say street poetry or short stories, like really short stories, not more than a page or two. That's going to be the next book. And I think a bunch of the Tompkins Square photos I did and I haven't published yet are going to be in it probably.
Yeah.
Nice.
Ron Rancid. Yeah. A lot of Spike Polite and Michelle, they turn up a couple times. But yeah, it's just a lot of great Gas.
Yeah, it's all the locals who matter.
The usual, even Paul Kostabi, right on.
Yeah.
Oh, the infamous.
Exactly.
God bless Kembra Farmer, man.
God bless Kembra.
She's still doing her thing, man. Mike SOS.
Mike,
it's just a real snapshot.
She looks very different, and there's a good shot of Jennifer Blowdryer here.
What's that?
Jennifer Blowdryer. That's a good shot of her.
Yeah.
I have to thank you for this is a beautiful shot, actually.
Yeah, the colors make that one, right?
Yeah.
Really beautiful.
Really
autumn colors, and that's
really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the moment. You really have to. It's everybody can just run and shoot like 30 frames a second, and one will be good. That's not the way I'm shooting. You really have to find that moment where something happens in people's face. Besides the music, besides the motion and the movement and the dancing and the running around, you have to get a good shot. You have to get the focus right, and 100%. You have to get the moments right. I think this is the art.
And I have to thank you for your kind words at the end here. I really feel like you understand what where my heart is with this, and I appreciate that. You know, I really do. I think your words here at the end, you really understand where my heart is with this whole thing. So thank you.
Yeah, it's a group effort, like you said earlier. It's a bunch of people who make the stage, who schlep the stuff over, and you break it down. And there's a lot of people whose faces are not in there. And they need to be mentioned because they make it possible. If you don't have, if you have any rowdies, then who's doing the work.
Yeah, I mean, people think free show in the park. It's like nothing is truly free. It's like to do these. We got to rent the PA. We got to pay a couple guys sometimes to get the stage out. We need the help to set up the stage. We have to pay a sound man. It's like a lot goes into it. It's not just, it doesn't just magically happen. Chris Flash gets the permits, months beforehand.
All the volunteers, set up, breakdown, clean up. Yeah.
It's a lot. But you know what? I will say that, we don't use the moniker loosely, our beloved Tompkins Square Park. That park means a lot to so many, and people step up and make the shows we do there happen and make them special.
Yeah, it needs to be preserved because that's a way where this kind of art form is still really alive. And I mean, okay, there's the clubs and so on, Brooklyn, Jersey, upstate, but here in the village, this is the place to go. There's there's no other park that has that history, and also the people who are like involved in it bring everything together. And you can see how many people showed up. I mean, when you had a show there, how many did you bring? 800 people, something. Yeah. Who else can do that? In a park?
And we've sort of and Larry Kelly's a big part of this, but as far as our park shows, we've sort of figured out where we sort of lie in the whole thing. Like, we don't want to do shows that are so big that draw so much attention that they become problematic. Like we did a bunch of those, the real big shows. Now we like doing shows with like basically like home cooking, we call it. A lot of the local bands, so that really want to play the park. Our sweet spot is like 300, 400, 500 people. This way, we're not drawing too much attention. We're not we're not, we don't want any problems. We want to just be able to do our thing to our community. And that's kind of
what we're under the radar. Yeah, exactly. Also, the big shows, I can't work at the big shows. If you're in a mosh pit in a big show with like 1,000 people, you get hit left and right. You can't really do anything. So the smaller shows are the shows where I get the best job because I have.
Well, I'll never forget the really big show that Black and Blue did in the park. I remember standing on stage, and there were people from the stage to the bathrooms in the back. It was
like 2,000 people or something, right?
3,000.
Oh, 3,000.
3,000 people, and so that was an incredible feat. So what's next for the book? What would you like to see happen? Any plans for the future?
Like I said, I'm working on a third book, anti-biography series. That's the next one that's coming out. This book is locally available in a bunch of bookstores. If I can just read them out for you.
Please, go ahead.
It's definitely is at Chris' table, like I just said that. And then we have it at Village Works, 12 St. Mark's Place. That's between 3rd and 2nd Street on the south side. They have all my books, and they have the photo book. Then there is the Exit 9 Gift Emporium, 51 Avenue A. They have it. And then the Museum of Reclaimed Urban Space on Avenue C, 155 Avenue C. They have it locally. And otherwise, on my website, technologyartist.art, are all the direct links to all my artwork and my films, my short films, which we didn't talk about yet, but I have a bunch of short films and video art things that are available for free to watch on my website, or links to, YouTube and Vimeo and so on and so forth. But the next book is going to be more like a, essay, poetry, street poetry, photography, and that might be coming out early next year.
Nice.
Fantastic. And I just want to thank you for and commend you for documenting, this thing that means, so much to all of us.
I've been shooting this year. I mean, I'm not going to be stopping.
So we'll see you. Well, I won't see you for that, but we are playing September 27th. Is Saturday, September 27th. We got the Mismiths that are playing. They do Misfits and Smith songs. Incendiary Device, Trees Coming Down from Boston, Midnight Foolishness, and Life of the Seed, who absolutely crushed it the other day. So, although I will not be there Memorial Day for the Memorial Day weekend show, which is coming up, we are playing the September 27th show. So that's going to be a great one.
Yeah, I try to make every show there is, but sometimes I can't. But I will do my best.
Well, thank you very much, Andreas.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
All right. Take
Thank
care.
you. Take care. Bye-bye.
I can't wait to search for his book on Amazon. I think we all need to after the show, everybody just put in Our Fucking Park.
Yeah. It's a great book, everybody. Go out and get it and support this great artist who's doing it from his heart. And if anybody has any questions about anything, post them up now. But someone posted a question about my wedding event that's coming up, and somebody said, "Hey Drew, your wedding show. I'm expecting some special guest acts." Yeah, you could say that. Yeah, we're doing the My War thing, which is we did it last time. It's basically me and a couple of my bandmates, and it's like a punk rock karaoke thing where different singers come up and do different songs. A lot of the people that did the first time, Scott Earth is coming up and doing Cro-Mags and listen, I don't want to give too much away, but so on and so forth. There's going to be some very special guests at this one as well. And it's going to be great. So everybody has to come down.
And there'll be cake. There'll be cake. So.
And there will be cake. There will be food.
Yeah.
We're working on all the accoutrements now, the food, the cake, the decorations,
all the little frills.
As far as attire goes, I know that's come up. We on the invite, it says dress to impress. And that doesn't necessarily mean formal. Whatever that means to you, dress to impress.
However you want to impress us.
Yeah. However you want to impress the world.
Exactly.
Yeah. So whatever works for you. Doesn't have to be formal. Someone's like, formal. I said, who said formal? Non-vegan options. Or there'll be many most options will be non-vegan. Yes. Naked. Listen, you want to show up naked? Go ahead. There you go. Hey, I'm dressed to impress. I'm dressed to impress with, I won't even say it. So actually, I'm going to be naked. No, I'm actually not.
Actually, I picked out a dress.
Yeah.
I picked out a dress. I never wear a dress there, so
yeah.
That's
cool.
Why not?
Not me naturally, but someone else could be naked, right? Listen,
Yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Yeah. It's going to be great. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it's all coming together now.
Yes.
We've been rehearsing. Let's see. Listen, who else are we doing? A lot of the same characters as last time doing the My War thing with some special guests. Special guests.
Oh, okay. Joe picked out a dress too. Right. We're gonna have to coordinate, Joe.
Right.
Make sure we're not wearing the same dress.
Yeah. Listen, new rules. Everybody has to show up naked or you can't come in. Nah. You know what? I don't want to see everybody naked.
No. I don't want to see anybody naked.
Right.
I don't even see myself naked.
Right. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So, right. No nakedness. That said. And there's still room on the boat, by the way. On Saturday, we're going out on the walking tour. just reach out. There's room on the boat for you. Come with us. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's ending up at the Greg Smith book event. This is the one event that Greg is doing to celebrate the release of the book, because a couple hours later, he's flying home to Cambodia, where he lives. So we got one event. Ray Hogan edited the book. He's going to be there. The designer, Jesse. So everybody needs to come on down to Generation Records. That means you, Hegs, on Saturday. So
it's going to be fun. Wish I could be there.
I assure you, no one will be impressed if I show up naked, dressed to terrify. You know. That said,
all right,
Lori, rockabilly dress or ankle length dress?
I guess it's more like rockabilly.
Right. Woo! All right. Very good. Well, thanks, Lori.
Yes,
we will
thank
see you in a couple days for the Mother's Day show.
Special Mother's Day.
Special
no
Mother's
wire
Day
hangers
show.
ever.
Freddie Madball. Who needs Freddie Madball?
Yeah.
We got the Mother's Day show.
Right. We're good. We're good.
All right. I'll talk to you soon, Lori.
Okay.
Thanks. All right. Bye. Listen, you wanted kooky, you got kooky today. All right. I hope everybody enjoyed it. It was good seeing you. We'll see you in a couple days. Actually, what am I talking about? This is happening Saturday. This is happening later Saturday. Come on. Don't freeze up on me now in such a crucial moment. This is happening Saturday. This is happening later Saturday. This is happening Sunday. So we will see you hopefully for some of the, yes, Greg is signing these. Greg will be there. Greg is signing books. I'll sign the book. This is it. The big banger this Saturday. Saturday. Enough already. Until next time, do good things and good things will come.
Conditioned by indoctrination, conditioned by society. You're a victim of the digital age, a 21st century casualty.